You know, every year, every time there's a tournament, I tell myself this. Who cares about international tournament? Who cares? Who truly cares? And you know what? You know what? Every time the tournament kicks off, you know who cares? Moi. I care, because you see, this was going on, right? And I don't get angry, right? If you've seen me watch anything, if you've seen me watch any Bayern game ever, you notice that I don't get angry. I'm just accepting. I'm just like, okay, yeah, okay. We're 2-0 down. We can turn this around. It's a blip in the season. But with international tournaments, that is not a thing. That is not a thing, right? If you asked me before this tournament, do I care? Will I even watch it? I probably would have told you no. I won't watch it. I don't care. The tournament starts. The tournament kicks off, and I'm here like, I'm just here shouting and letting it all out. That's the beauty of international tournament, you know? Because when it's Bayern play every single year. They play, games every single season. There is a new game every weekend. So we might lose a Champions League game. Okay, cool. We've got a second leg to come. I can always bank on us, showing up on the second leg. With international tournaments, a one-legged knockout, that is not the case. There is no tournament at this point, there is sort of a tournament every single year. But usually, there is only a tournament every 2 years. So every time we're in a tournament, it feels like a big spectacle. It feels like, whoa, we're all in this together. Like, I might not watch the friendlies that often. Like, whenever there's a friendly, I'm like, I don't care about who cares about the friendlies? But then once the tournament actually kicks off, I'm just like, let's do it. Once the tournament, I just realized that. Once the tournament kicks off, I'm wearing this flag right here. I'm like, okay, let's do this. We can do this. Yeah. Oh, I must tell you, right? It feels so good. It feels so good. I don't. See, you know what I like the most, right? I said this a long time ago. I told this story a very long time ago, right? So I'll tell it again, because some people might not have heard me say it. They might not have seen me talk about this a long time ago. So 2014. We go back to, not 2014, 2010. We go back to 2010. So just for a little context, I was born in Munich. I grew up in Munich. I lived there for 11 years. And then I moved to England, all right? And that was, I moved in 2007. Now, the 2010 World Cup comes around. The 2010 World Cup comes around, all right? And I'm there like, okay, Germany versus England. It's happening. Back then, how old would I have been? I don't know. This was Euro 2020, but we are in 2021, so this was 11 years ago. So I would have been, give or take, 14 years old. Coolio. Now, again, I live in England. Germany plays against England in the 2010 World Cup, and Germany beats them. Oh my. But there's one very specific moment. The ball off the crossbar goes in, bounces back out. The referee's like, I don't think that went behind the line, so I'm not gonna give it. I'm a smug prick. Right? If you can't tell, I'm a smug prick. I'm the smuggest of pricks, alright? You wouldn't want to meet me in real life, because I'm a smug prick. So when this international tournament came, and then that moment happened, and England got kicked out of that World Cup, I went into class the next day, and I was the smuggest of pricks. I was like, oh, did you see that? Goal. That wasn't a goal. That was me, basically. That was me. I was rubbing it in. Like, if you were sitting next to me, right, I'd be like, hey. That's how I was rubbing it in. I was like, face to face, rubbing it in. I was like, that was me. I remember that day so fondly. It's one of my favorite days in my life because people got so angry, and that's basically the whole point. I'm an offline troll, all right. So if you ever think you want to troll me online, I'm like, I don't care, right? Because I'm here for it. Be smug about it as much as you can. I welcome the smugness. If Bayern lose and you want to laugh, hey, the comment section. You're good to go. Like, I'm not gonna stop you. I won't ever delete comments, alright? I do have moderators who might delete comments, but I personally, that's never gonna happen, alright? Because I welcome the smugness, alright? So I remember that day so fondly. Do you know why I remember it so fondly? Because I was a smug prick. And people, they couldn't handle my smugness. And so they wanted to fight me. Like, I loved that day so much because I got people so riled up that they actually wanted to fight me. A few people punched me back then, and I was just laughing about it. Like, I was just like, hey. To me, that was a victory. To me, that was a victory that I got people so riled up that they wanted to get physical. That's a good moment. Now, here's the thing. England is playing versus Germany. Ooh. Now, Germany is ass. They are trash. They are awful. And England is the favorite alongside France. The bookies made them the favorite alongside France, which I did not understand at all. But you know what? I don't care. Everyone's hopes are up. I live in England, so I know this. Everyone's hopes are up. Or at least they were up, alright? Until the whole Sancho thing happened and Sancho didn't get started. And then suddenly the hopes started to plummet. But everyone's hopes here are up, alright? They're all up. Everyone's like, it's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming. And I'm just like, okay. I ain't gotta say anything. I ain't gotta say anything. Revel in it. Marble in it. Come that game. Once that game arrives, I'm gonna be like, okay. I'm gonna be at your funeral, England fans. I'm gonna be at your funeral, and I'm gonna be looking slick. That's gonna be me. That's because here's the thing, right? As bad as Germany are, as atrocious as Germany are, as lackluster, uninspiring, as disastrous as they are, calamitous, they're still gonna beat England. And I'm putting it out there right now, I'm predicting a 4-1 victory. Woo! A 4-1 victory. I hope there's going to be some controversial moments. Like, VAR has been a thing this whole tournament. I hope that, like, VAR just shuts down for, like, 10 minutes. Just for, like, 10 minutes, it just shuts down. And it's like, oh, no, there's a controversial decision in these 10 minutes. And it benefits Germany. Oh, my goodness. I'm hoping. But I'm happy. I'm happy. I haven't made a single Euro video, cause I don't know. Alright, I don't know why people want to see content that isn't Bayern. I don't know. So I'm not even gonna speak about it. But I was like, okay, I'm making myself bread because I am hungry. This game stressed me out. And this match stressed me out. These Euros stressed me out. I came in there. I didn't watch the friendlies because I never watched the friendlies. Whenever I watch Germany play friendlies, I regret it. I regret it to the utmost. But come tournament, I was here. Here you go, right? I am extremely confident about these Euros. I might be the only person who's confident about these Euros. But I will show you something, all right? I will show you something. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here. I made this prediction. Okay, 801. I realistically made that prediction before the first game of the tournament. I think actually it might have been 8:05 when the game started. I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, this is my Euros prediction, all right? Germany to win it, Gnabry top scorer. Now, Gnabry has not scored a single goal, so that's looking kind of shaky. But England is coming up, and you know how Gnabry likes to do against English teams. You'll see how he does against the English themselves. This is going to be good. It's going to be good. Another thing that I do want to mention is that Germany so far has very much struggled with teams that play a back three or back five. I mean, it's the same thing. Back three and back fives are the same thing in principle. Germany has struggled against those teams, but against teams that play the back four, aka Portugal, we have been rather solid. England play a back four. Oh my. Last thing. They want to show this. I mean, it's a good path. It's a very, very sweet path. Germany obviously being down here, so if Germany do beat England, it's between Sweden and the Ukraine, which, you know, if you ask me, I obviously would prefer facing the Ukraine. In terms of this side, Wales versus Denmark, I mean, I'm going to assume Denmark wins, but Wales have the X factor in Gareth Bale, so who knows? And then you've got Holland versus the Czechs. I'm obviously going to go with Holland. The Netherlands have been very, very impressive in this tournament. To me, they look like the best team alongside Italy, if I'm being completely honest. Then, you know, whoever wins, again, my prediction would be Netherlands versus Denmark. I think Netherlands will win. I think Germany versus, realistically, I think it's going to be Germany versus Sweden. And while Sweden pose a lot of threats, I think Germany will win. And they've got Germany versus the Netherlands. I'm going for Germany, which is the route to the final. On the other side of the bracket, you've got Croatia versus Spain. And look, I think obviously Spain won quite big today, but I think Spain might find themselves struggling against Croatia quite a lot, if I'm being completely honest. I think Croatia might actually beat Spain. I've got France versus Switzerland. Switzerland are a funny team because every single tournament, like every single time they're in a tournament, I'm like, okay, these guys, they're not going to do anything. And then they just pull out, you know, one or two of these like freak results. And I'm just like, where did this come from? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Fair enough. You actually look pretty good. The second I think they look pretty good, they just completely flop. So that's why I think, that's why I don't know how to feel about Switzerland. That's why I'm going to go with France, despite the fact that I think France is awful. I thought that after the Germany-France game, and I think that even more now. You know, my opinion hasn't changed. They kind of just look at Mbappe. Look Mbappe and Pogba, that's really it. Which is kind of crazy considering they have probably individually the best team, probably the best individual players, but as a team, they're just awful. Italy versus Austria. As I said, Italy for me has been the most impressive team. Austria has been not really good, not really bad, honestly. Just kind of what you expect from Austria, honestly. So Italy, I think obviously will go through. Belgium versus Portugal. All the signs tell me Belgium will win, which means Portugal will somehow get a penalty and win that way. So that, you know, Ronaldo can stat pad his penalties and whatnot. He could stat pad his goals in the Euros, which, hey, I don't mind. But we have to call it out the way it is. With okay. With that said, again, I think Croatia will win. Croatia versus France. I think Croatia will beat France. Which will knock out the quote unquote favorites for this tournament. Then next up, you've got Italy versus I think it's gonna be Portugal, for me completely honest. And I think Portugal will fall against Italy. So we'll then have Italy versus Croatia. Italy will win, and at the end we'll have a Italy versus Germany. And traditionally, it's when you think of Italy versus Germany, it's always Italy winning. That's usually how the thing goes. You know, the awful record that Germany has versus Italy. I think we've technically won once, technically, and that was through a penalty kick shootout. But we've never actually won an official game from what I remember. Like every time we place Italy in a tournament, I'm just like, bro, this is an automatic L, an automatic loss. But you know why I think we're gonna win? Because it's gonna be in the final. And for some reason, in a final, I just think, you know what? The rules don't apply. The usual rules. There are things in football that absolutely make no sense. I always say that, and it's always true. I say it's true. I mean, hey, what do you want me to say? there are certain things in football that don't make sense. Like if you touch the Champions League trophy before you actually play the final, like, you know, while walking onto the pitch during the final, you lose. Every team has lost that's touched the trophy. Or the other thing is if you don't have a Croatian in your team for like the last 15 years or so, you don't win. So you need to have a Croatian in the team. The one year where we loaned a Croatian in Ivan Perisic, we won. Before that, in 2013, when we had Mandzukic, we won. So, you know, every time any team that has a Croatian in their team, obviously this year it was Chelsea, they win. So there is just a thing. There are just things in football that don't make any sense, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it, you know. Like the other thing, for example, was the 15th goal in the World Cup. Obviously, the record is now with Miroslav Klose, who's got 16 goals. But the 15th goal that Ronaldo scored was against Ghana. He scored his 15th goal, which at that point was the record. He scored his 15th Champions League goal with Brazil against Ghana. And then you've got Miroslav Klose, who scored his 15th goal also against Ghana in the 2014 World Cup, before ultimately he then went on to score his 16th against Brazil itself. There are little things in football like that just never make sense. It's the Arsenal 5-1 victory kind of thing that like really doesn't make sense, but it just somehow is a thing. Like when you really think about it, it doesn't make any sense at all. But like once you stop thinking about it, it's just like who cares? Like for example, last time we played Arsenal, I bet 5-1. I think actually in my preview I actually said we'd beat them 5-1. People were like, "You mean ridiculous? It happened once or twice. You know, it's never gonna happen again. That was a freak result. It happened. I won money. Guess what? Things in football like these, they're just a thing, alright? They're just a thing. Football just has many little quirks, and I'm here for that. My prediction: Musiala will score in the final. He'll come on last minute and he'll score in the final. Yogi Löw, he'll go out and he'll be like, "Yeah, man, I've done it all. Euros, World Cup, look at me, I'm the boss." And I'll be like, "Yeah, you're a fraud. But I'll take those 2 trophies. I'll take those 2 trophies. You should have never been a manager. You should have been sacked after 2012. That was the Euros where you should have been sacked, in my honest opinion. 2010, I can't fault him. The team was young. The team was inexperienced. Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. 2012, when that team went out, that was 100% on him. I could actually make a full video on that, but nobody wants to see that. This is a Bayernfantv, not international football fan TV. For the most part, I don't really care too much about international football, besides whenever Germany's playing, and I'm like, fuck me. Do something! Do something! Because with Bayern, I'm like, okay. Like, you're gonna do something. With Germany, I'm like, okay, do something. Please do something. I'm on my knees here begging you, please, man, please! Whereas with Bayern, I'm like, yo, chill. We'll score 5 goals in 9 minutes. Hey, calma. Yo, calma. I'm like, yo, flexing, bro. With Germany, I'm like, please, do something, please. So, completely different scenarios. But I like it. I like it very much. With that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, happy. That's all this video is about. Happy. I'm happy. I'm extremely happy. You know what? These are from Germany. But funny enough, the Kabanowski. These right here, that I ripped off the label off. Guess where those are from? These are from Poland, and we saw Lewandowski nearly dragging his team all the way to the next round. Obviously, fantastic performances. Speaking of Italy, Italian. That's gonna be the final. Italian antipasto selection. Yeah, that's gonna be the final. It's not written in the stars. It's written in the food. That settles it. That settles it. Ain't nobody in the world arguing with what's written in the food. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get that food that's written in the food. I'm gonna get the message, the signals, the voices that are written in the food, and I'm gonna consume them and make them come true, like that. Funny thing, I was feeling really ill today in the morning, and now suddenly I just feel invigorated. Like, I feel invigorated. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. In the morning, I was like, oh, I'm so dizzy. I've got a headache. Now I'm like, yo. Just completely. That's what football can do to you. That's what football can do to you, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, though, peace out, everyone. Have a nice day. Peace out, and bye.